Hi guys, welcome back to H Talks, and this week we are going to talk about sleep. And if you're having trouble sleeping, we're going to talk about 5 tips that can help you get to sleep quicker and more efficient. Let's go! So in everything in life, we're just going to get straight into it, and basically the crux of a good sleep is having a good sleeping pattern and a good bedtime routine. And part of that bedtime routine is making sure that you have the right wind down period. So make sure that we are actually preparing ourselves for bed before we actually get to bed. So first of all, it's about keeping a regular sleeping hour pattern. This immediately keeps the internal body clock and the brain programmed to wanting and needing that amount of sleep. Like I said, it's roughly between 6 and 9 hours. So by working out on what time you need to wake up, deduct 6 to 9 hours on average, and that'll work out what time you actually need to get to bed and asleep by. So then we can start planning our routine from back, like our first thing in the morning, backwards to the night before. So that then will become a nice routine and a planned process for your body to learn, your internal body, and your brain to learn as well. I will also add here that it is important to wake up the same time every day, because if you're trying to catch up on a bad night's sleep the night before, or trying to have a cat nap in the middle of the day, it's not actually promoting a good sleep routine and a good sleep schedule for your body, and that's where it gets confused, and then you don't actually get to sleep and switch off in bed on a normal basis. So let's get right over to the tips, and tip number 1 is have a warm bath. Not a hot bath, not a cold bath, but just have a nice warm bath. It'll regulate the body's temperature in readiness for sleeping. So you'll have that nice cozy feeling as you're getting back into bed. So tip number 2, which is something I promote all the time in every time, any format really of mental health, and that's writing a to-do list. So this to-do list will be for the morning on the day ahead. So when you go to bed, make sure that you're clear in your thoughts and everything, so you don't have any worries about the next coming day. You've got it all planned out, and then you can action it when you wake up. So to improve your sleep, take a notepad and a pen to your bedside, and just before you sort of are settling down and cushioning down, write a to-do list for tomorrow. It'll clear your brain, and you won't be distracted then when going to bed, and you won't be overthinking stuff. Now we're on to tip number 3. And tip number 3 is something that I encourage as well before bed, or at least once a day, is reading a book. Reading a book or listening to soft music actually does the same thing, but it distracts the mind and puts it into a subtle state. So you're not really making the brain work vigorously. You're not going into an overactive period in the brain, but you're slowly just winding down and going into that relaxed state where your breathing will become relaxed and controlled as well, and then you'll have that nice calming energy before going to bed. So read a book in bed or listen to some soft calming music. Tip number 4, and this is probably the reason why people have such a bad sleep schedule at the minute, and it's purely don't use any electronic device, any smartphone, tablet, anything with a screen basically, for maybe an hour, up to an hour before bed, because the light from the displays actually have proven to have a negative effect on people's sleep. So if you can, I know it's not always possible, but if you can, just try and put your phone on your bedside cabinet, put it in a drawer, leave it downstairs if you can. But if you struggle with sleeping, I'd recommend definitely leaving it downstairs or just switching it off. So that's tip number 4. Don't use smartphones, tablets, anything of the sort with a display for up to an hour before bed, just to help you relax that little bit more. So we'll bring it up to tip number 5, and tip number 5 is something which I've newly come across, but I find it an amazing resource. And there's 3 types of apps which you can have, and I know previously I've said don't use your smartphone, but you can prepare with these apps to go to bed. So app number 1 is called PZizz, so the letter P, Z, I, Z, Z. It's free. It's a free app within app purchases as well. But it's to get help to calm your mind and fall asleep faster. And it's actually part of the NHS's recommendations as well. There's another one which is only available in certain places, so you might struggle to actually get this one, but it's called Sleepio. So that's sleep with IO on the end. They should be available on both app stores, iOS and Android. But finally, this app is actually only accessible via a GP referral. So if you have sort of insomnia or anything, really bad sleep problems, you can ask to be referred for this app, and it's actually called Sleep Station. So these 3 apps actually do exactly what I'm telling you to do now, and have this way of trying to meditate and regulate your brain prior to sleeping to try and get that good, healthy sleep into your system. So there's my 5 tips to help sleep. Hopefully you can use them to your advantage, and if you're struggling sleeping, implement some of these in your bedtime routine and actually get a decent night's sleep, because I know the feeling. There's nothing worse than the next day when you've only had 2 or 3 hours sleep. It's utter poo. But hopefully with these techniques, and obviously if you want to download the apps, then feel free. Like I said, they are all NHS recommended. So there's not going to be any dodgy links or anything like that in them. I'll put the names of the apps in the description. But from me, that is all. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you can try and implement the tips that I've given you. Fingers crossed. Let me know how you've done in the comments. I'd love to hear if you're struggling with sleep, if my tips have actually helped you. So that is all for today. And just remember, I'll leave you today like I always do, and that is make today a positive day. I'll catch you guys soon.